Welcome to the Atomatik trial training video for the workflow ID card reading. This video is the third in a series of trial videos. If you haven't watched the previous videos yet, we recommend that you watch them first. They can be found on the trial resources page of our website or in the description below. This workflow is an example of how Atomatik can be used to save time for HR teams by automatically reading and gathering information from ID cards. HR teams spend a lot of time manually entering data from identification documents while onboarding employees. Using Atomatik, we can have digital workers read the text on an identification card and convert it into digital data. To find this workflow, open up Studio. Navigate to the Workflow tab and select Open Workflow. Search for ID cards and press Query. Select Extract Data from Standard ID Cards and click Open. Let's run this workflow to see what it does. Click the Start button at the top of the workflow canvas. We can see the process steps being completed. The digital worker reads the text from ID cards and adds the information to an Excel file. Notice how there are two iterations because there were two IDs on file. Whether it's once or 100 times, your digital workers will always complete your repetitive tasks. Let's open the Excel file to see the result. As expected, the information we wanted has been entered onto our spreadsheet. Now let's walk through how we built this workflow in the Design Studio. The first step will be to train it how to use data extract to read the information from an ID card. To do that, we will navigate to the Data Extract tab, click New Template, From Image, then load an example of the type of ID we will be extracting data from. Following the instructions that appear on the screen, we will be guided through teaching the digital worker to read the ID card. Choose the first option, Extract Text from Image using mouse selection. Using the mouse, select the information or data needed. We will be sure to give our data obvious labels. We also need to select an anchor. An anchor is a guide for the digital worker to find the data needed with accuracy. In this case, the anchor can be the text New York State, because we know this will be common in all New York identity cards. Do this again for the date of birth and address, so that we can collect all the information we need. Finally, we'll save our data extraction. Let's name it something obvious and give it a good description. Once the digital worker is trained to extract information, it will know how to carry out the same procedure for any ID card of the same type. Now let's navigate to the Workflow tab, where we can use the data from this data extraction in tasks. Now we'll begin to build our data extraction workflow. Add a new workflow, give it a name and description, and then select the process it belongs to. Remember that workflows are a sequential set of tasks used to complete a goal, and we build them from top to bottom. The easiest way to approach building a workflow is to think about what steps we would take to complete this goal ourselves. First, we have to open a folder where all the ID cards are saved. We can do this by searching for Get Files in the left-hand sidebar and dragging the Get Files from Folder task into the canvas. Next, we will give it a folder location so that the digital worker knows where to locate these IDs. Once the IDs have been located, a variable is automatically created to hold them so that we can use them later on in our workflow. We know we need to check all of the IDs in the folder. We'll locate our For Each task in the sidebar and put it into our workflow in order to make sure the digital worker checks all of the ID cards. We must then train it to look at each file in the folder. We can do this by adding a variable in the bottom section of the studio. Let's name the variable Unique ID Card and set our For Each to look at all of the files in the variable we made for this folder. Now let's add the data extraction we built earlier and send it each file in the folder. The digital worker will collect each of the IDs and extract the information exactly like we taught it to, taking the name, birthday, and address from each ID card. The data is now available for use in this workflow and can be used for other tasks. To finish this workflow, the digital worker will enter the data into a spreadsheet. Once again, we'll find the task we want and add it into the workflow. Next, we'll give it instructions for what to do. To enter information into this spreadsheet, we'll need to provide what we want to bring in and where we want it to go in the spreadsheet. In this case, the data from the ID into different rows of the spreadsheet. Finish configuring the data alignment into the spreadsheet and we'll be done. And there we have it. We've seen how Atomatik can remove a manual step of reading and transcribing data from an ID card. You can configure workflows effortlessly using Atomatik. Without any technical know-how, you'll be able to master the application and reclaim your precious time. Be sure to watch the next video in this series to learn more about the power of the Atomatik platform.